You know, over the past 3 years, it's been our privilege to bring you, our viewing audience, a variety of topics that have highlighted your city's services. But today, we're going to do something different. Hi, I'm Greg Couch, and welcome to the Command Post, a progressive look at the Columbus Division of Fire. On behalf of the Department of Public Safety with Mitchell Brown, Director, we welcome you to our show. You know, 10 years ago was a transitional period for the city of Columbus in several ways. One was 9/11, which made all of us a lot more conscientious of our surroundings and our city services. And the other was the election of a new fire chief by the name of Ned Pettus, Jr. Chief Pettus brought to the table the type of leadership and insight that has defined his tenure as chief. Chief Ned Pettus, Jr. joined the Columbus Division of Fire in 1977 as a firefighter. He quickly worked his way up the ranks and went from firefighter to the first African-American fire chief in Columbus. Over the course of 35 years, Chief Pettus has earned several significant awards, such as the Metropolitan Fire Chief of the Year in 2009, and was elected President of the Metropolitan Fire Chiefs Association in 2011. Chief Pettus was the driving force behind the City of Columbus Division of Fire, being one of the first nationally accredited fire departments in the nation, and he was highly influential in the development of the department's professional standards unit. The passion for firefighting runs deep in the Pettus family, as his brother is a retired firefighter, and Chief Pettus' son is currently in firefighting as well. You know, Chief, a lot has happened over the past 10 years, not just to you personally, but for the city of Columbus also.
It absolutely has, Greg.
You know, when I think back at this, when I look at what has happened over the past 10 years, I'm reminded of something my mother used to say to me, Chief. She used to say, you know, Greg, our son, life starts at 60. Actually, 60 is the new 50 or 40 is what you make of it. So, in essence, you're kind of starting this new phase, or you're going to be starting this new phase in your life at a pretty young age. So, what are you going to do? What's up next?
Well, Greg, I promised my wife that we would take at least the first 2 months to do whatever we want to do.
That's a good start, Chief. Promising the wife and doing that.
We'll go wherever we want to go. We'll do whatever we want to do, and we'll do nothing if we want to. And I would also like to focus on and possibly finish my PhD, which I'm more than halfway through right now.
So you got a pretty full plate planned out for you once you finally, leave the division here.
Well, beyond that, I'll let God direct my paths.
Well, when you think back now and you look at this past 10 years, in your opinion, in your personal opinion, Chief, what is the one thing that you're most proud of?
Well, Greg, we've accomplished so many things in the past 10 years, but if I had to point to the one that captures the most of what we have accomplished, it would be accreditation. Because accreditation, when we achieved that, encompassed more than 250 performance indicators. And that is a symbol of excellence that very few large fire departments in the United States or in the world have achieved. In fact, we were the third of the 25 largest cities in America to achieve accreditation, and we were the second largest accredited fire department in the world until Miami-Dade bumped us to number 3 in 2009.
That was a pretty big accomplishment in itself right there.
Oh, absolutely. You know, 10 years ago, we didn't even have computers in the fire stations. We didn't even have email. And so we have brought the Columbus Division of Fire into the 21st century. We have almost completely re-engineered and reinvented our fire department, and it truly has transformed from what it was in 2002 into what it is today.
So when you look back at this, I don't know if you're like me now, but in retrospective, is there anything, when you think back on the past 10 years or the past 34 years that you've been on the division, is there anything you would do differently now, Chief, if you could have a chance to do it over again?
Well, Greg, I feel so blessed. You know, I hesitate to even address that. But if there was any one thing that I would do different, I probably would have started my PhD program a little bit earlier. I wish I had already completed it. I already have a master's degree, and I'm about to achieve a second master's degree, and I would rather be achieving that PhD right now rather than a second master's
I'm
degree.
hearing this theme here. Education's really important to you.
Oh, I am very passionate about education, and I try to advocate for pursuing education to young people every opportunity that I get. I speak to high school students, and I carry the banner. I'm passionate because whatever it is that you want to be and achieve in life is based on having a good education.
I noticed you talked about Mifflin High School, and I'm like you. I was a product of the city, the inner city, and I remember as a kid growing up hearing fire trucks run up and down the street and going inside some of the fire stations. I was curious because I know you and I spoke on the show 3 years ago, and I wanted to ask you then, what was the one thing that kind of pushed you into this type of career? What really motivated you into choosing this as a career?
Well, as a matter of fact, when I was a teenager, I played basketball with the first African-American firefighter that I had ever met. And me and my teenage friends, we were around 14, 15 years old. We thought he was fantastic. And that was in the person of the late Captain William Smith.
Okay.
And in fact, his son is my recruitment supervisor, Lieutenant William Gary Smith. And I was surprised when I was hired by the fire department and enrolled in the training academy. Lo and behold, there was Captain Smith
screaming at you.
Recruit commander. That's correct. And he demanded more of me than the others, and I gave him more. And I attribute a great deal of my success to the inspiration that I received from the late Captain William Smith.
When you talk about all of this, I'm just listening to you. What's your fondest memory? I mean, what is the memory that you're going to take with you that over your whole career here on the fire department? What's the one thing that really sticks out to you?
Well, Greg, I couldn't begin to sort through and identify the one best. I feel so blessed, but the one thing that I can tell you, I never dreamed that I would be the fire chief. In my wildest imagination, I never dreamed that I'd be the fire chief. I was so thrilled to become a firefighter, and I've always embraced pursuing my education for me, because I always believed it would make me a better person as well as a better firefighter. And I've made it no secret throughout my career that I'm a Christian, and I embrace Christian values. And I believe that God poured out blessings on me, and the icing on the cake was to become the fire chief and the first African-American fire chief. In my wildest dream, I never expected that to occur.
Well, it did happen, and I'm glad you talked about your values and all of these things, because you had a pretty profound effect on a lot of people. And the last couple of weeks, I've spent some time talking with some people about you, and they had some interesting things to say, and here's what happened.
Ned Pettus is one of the finest men that I know.
Well, there's a lot we could say about Ned Pettus, Jr., but probably what's most significant at these particular times is that I will miss him. I will miss his engagement within the Columbus Fire Division and our professional and our personal relationships.
And having a fire chief that understands and values the role of EMS within the fire service has been a very wonderful experience.
You know, he's the kind of guy that you want to be the fire chief. He is compassionate. He deeply cares about the city.
I don't think Ned will retire. I think he'll find something else, certainly along the lines of firefighting services somehow. He's just, he has too active a brain to sit back and say, I'm just going to take it easy and relax. That's just not him.
He cares about us, but you know the best thing about Ned Pettus to me is that he graduated from Linda McKinley High School, which, by the way, to all you East High School graduates out there, is the best high school in the city.
Going to Lyndon McKinley was certainly wonderful, but it could have been better if he would have went to Marion Franklin, which undoubtedly is the best high school in the city.
You know, Ned went to Lyndon McKinley. He was well respected there, as he is well respected as a chief. We're going to miss him.
And Chief, if I had any advice to give you as you start this new season in your life, I would tell you to pretty much keep doing exactly what you have been doing. With your faith in God and your pursuit of a righteous lifestyle, there is no doubt in my mind that you have mastered the pattern for success.
He has so many talents to give that you just can't stop it. Ned, that's just the way it works out. So, and periodically I'll be calling upon you to do some things for me. So that's just, I said, you always work for me, so that's the way it is. And so you can't really say officially retired, but unofficially still engaged.
Congratulations, Ned, on your retirement and your incredible career. Now relax and enjoy yourself. You and your family have earned it.
Wow. You had amazing effect on a lot of people. How does it make you feel when you see how you impacted these people? Greg, I know this is going to make my wife faint, but it leaves me speechless. You know, she believes that I am never speechless, but it absolutely leaves me speechless. You know, she's told me that I'm a very humble person and that I always assume that everyone else is on my level and everyone understands all of the things that I understand. But one thing that I do know that I am and have always been, and that's a praying person. You know, my mother taught me my Bible verse back as far as I can remember before I could talk good, and mine was the 23rd Psalm, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want." And my older brother, who's a retired Columbus firefighter, he's 3 years older than me, and he had his own Bible verse as well. And of course, I looked up to him. He taught me how to tie my shoes, how to cut school, how to drive a car. So I memorized his as well, which was Nahum 1:7. "The Lord is good, a stronghold in the day of trouble, and he knoweth them that trust in him." And I've always trusted in him. And I never expected all of the blessings he's given me and to be the fire chief or even the impact that I've had on other people. So I humbly acknowledge and accept it, and as usual, I thank God for it. Well, here's the million-dollar question. I know we've talked about a lot here the past 15 minutes or so. I know you've got some definite plans for the future, but what are you going to do right now? I mean, what's the next step for you, that very next step for you? Greg, until the very last second that I am the fire chief, when I get the opportunity, I will continue to work on implementing a firefighter cadet program. You know, it's one of my goals that I'm working on now. I have met with government officials and city leaders. I would love for the Columbus community to have a firefighter cadet program where we specifically reach out to and attempt to recruit females and minorities. You know, the firefighter profession has been so wonderful to me, and when I review background files for candidates for the Columbus Division of Fire, so often I am seeing that the candidates and the applicants who are successful and actually pass the test, so many of them have furthered their education. So many of them have one or all of the 4 state certifications required to become a firefighter. Well, I'm excited for you, you know, and I wish you all the luck in the world, Chief, and what's happening with you now. And remember what I said in the beginning now, 60 is the new 40, so you're still young. So you've got a lot to do, and I wish you all the luck in the world. I wish you all the luck in the world. Well, thank you, Greg. If I could close on one comment, you have done an amazing job hosting the command post program for the Columbus Division of Fire. You know, that's an important achievement to me for the Columbus Division of Fire, is putting the command post program on and putting the EMS Perspectives program on, because it helped our community become more aware of the career opportunities and the amazing job that our members do and all the different facets of the job of being a firefighter. And I thank you for hosting this program, and I thank our medical director, Dr. Kessick, for hosting our EMS Perspectives program. And of course, these programs wouldn't be on without the support of GTC3 staff, which is now Columbus Television. We are truly grateful for the support the Columbus Division of Fire has received from the Department of Technology and Columbus TV. We couldn't have done it without them.
Well, I appreciate everything you've said, Chief, and we do have more for the show, and I'd love for you to stick around. Can you stick around a little bit longer?
Absolutely.
Stick around. Well, a couple weeks ago, we were out at the Latino Fest where Paula Cassell spent the afternoon talking with people. Paula, what happened?
Thanks, Greg. Let me tell you, it was a beautiful sunny day to be down at the Latino Festival. I met some amazing people and had great tasting food. I know you were jealous. Here's what happened. Qué día tan hermoso para estar aquí en el Festival Latino. What a beautiful day to be here at the Latino Festival with great tasting food, hip-shaking music, and who can forget the beautiful summer weather. The Columbus Division of Fire is highly involved with the community, including the Latino Festival and other events such as the Ohio State Fair. I'm here to not only get in on the good food, but also to find out the Hispanic community's knowledge on the community involvement of the Columbus Division of Fire. What comes to mind when you think of the Columbus Division of Fire?
I think of safety. I think of heroism, volunteerism. I mean, all those guys are very dedicated, and you know, we feel better when we know that they are there.
Are you aware of all the opportunities that the Columbus Division of Fire is offering, not only to our community, but also to Hispanics, to be more specific?
I'm happy to know about it. They got the opportunity for us because in the past it's really hard to go in. And I believe I'm going to think about it to see if I can try to go in.
I like the fact that they're always in shape, they're helping people, and I think it's it's an attractive feel. You know, you feel like you're helping other people that are in need, and I hear good opportunities because they give people sponsorships. So I think it's a great chance for the ones that are looking to go to college and they like that kind of job. I think it's great.
As Dominican Republics, what comes to mind when you think about firefighters?
Fire, they put their life in danger, they help people, save people's life, and that's very important because they're giving everything for people, for us, for humans.
Have to explain a little bit more to the people because in our communities from Mexico, for example, I guess we have a different perspective of what is the fire department, but I guess it's something good that to get involved the community in the fire department and also in the police.
Right now, I'm here with Julia, who is the Chief Executive Officer and the President of the Ohio Hispanic Coalition. What exactly do you do as the President of this organization?
I'm very involved in the operational matters of the Ohio Hispanic Coalition. We have been in existence 21 years, and this year is especially it's our 21st anniversary.
Many people are not aware of the diversity that is within the Latino community. Can you talk to us a little bit more about that?
Sure. A lot of people think that all Latinos are alike, but we are mostly more different from each other than we are from between Latinos and non-Latinos.
I'm seeing that all around here. That's great.
Exactly. So we have 26 countries, and sometimes you hear we're only 22 countries, but really we have about 26 countries, and each country has its own values and traditions. We have some commonalities, but we're very different from each other.
How do you think we can increase the awareness in the Latino community in regards to the opportunities that they have with the safety department, more specifically the Columbus Division of Fire? How can we increase that awareness to let them know that these opportunities are here?
Well, that's a very good question, and it's not a simple answer because we have a community that's very diverse within the Central Ohio. So I would say that for recruitment and opportunities, you really need to be addressing the outgoing second generation or new generation that already is bilingual and is looking for good positions, good jobs. Go to high school, start recruiting from high school, or go to universities and start recruiting from them. in English. But if you're going to talk about safety of the family, you must do it in Spanish, and you must do it with people that look like them and sound like them. We've had some serious situations in Columbus that we've lost, 10 people in one fire alone because of the inability to communicate. So communication is essential.
So how do we bridge that gap with community? Because with language, because that's a barrier. Language is a big barrier with the Latino community.
Yes. Well, I think that first-generation immigrants, if we go through our history in the United States, every ethnic group that came to the United States, first generation was the hardest to learn English. So we're going to have better luck with the second generation. However, it is our responsibility as public servants to provide services in the language of the customer. So it is, there's such a thing called the Civil Rights Act of 1964, Title VI.
I'm very familiar with that, yeah.
And, providers need to start reading what it's mandated of them, but there is no enforcement and there is no education about the matter. So one of the things is, okay, if you're a provider, how do I serve the community that is monolingual Spanish? Common sense to me would be recruit, and translate and have bilingual staff.
This is one of the small steps. These types of festivals, going to Ohio State Fair, going to the schools, so we're out there doing all of that. Hopefully we can do something to increase those numbers and bridge that gap that you're talking about. I really appreciate you taking the time to be with us. And Paula, thank you for stepping in here and doing this with us.
Thank you, Greg. Thank you.
So appreciate you taking the time with us.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
Well, that's all for this edition of the Command Post. If you're interested in finding out the benefits and opportunities of joining the Columbus Division of Fire, you can call our recruitment office at 645-6387. If you have any questions about fire safety or the Columbus Division of Fire in general, you can go to our website at columbusfire.org, or you can give us a call at 645-7641. On behalf of the Columbus Division of Fire with Chief Ned Pettus Jr., I'm Greg Couch, and we'll see you next time.